All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first installment of our new podcast. I am Matthew, and I am alongside Ben.
Hello.
And today we will be discussing different NBA topics, just because season about just has already started, and most of the games are still to come. And what we'll be talking about today is the whole Jimmy Butler situation and whether or not he'll be traded. And if he's not traded, if he will be a problem for the locker room, which I think he will be. And will the Lakers be a better supporting cast than the Cavaliers were, mainly for LeBron? Top five sleeper teams and five overrated teams, and why? NBA award predictions, NBA playoff seeding predictions, playoff result predictions, and that's just about it.
All right, and we will also be doing NFL podcasts in the future, but we're starting with the NBA. So,
Alright,
would you like to start?
let's get started.
All right.
Alright, first question. Will Jimmy Butler be traded within the next few weeks, days, or even by the trade deadline? And if not traded, will he be a problem in the locker room? Personally, yes, I think so. Jimmy Butler will be traded. Maybe not in the next week or days, but I'm sure by the trade deadline he'll be traded to a team like weaker in the East. I'd say maybe possibly the Knicks.
I can see him going there, yeah.
Knicks or who else? That's maybe Heat. But just because I feel like the Heat don't really have like a main superstar. I feel like every team that wins has like a main all-star superstar. And they have Hassan Whiteside, but he's definitely declined since, a couple years ago. And until then, I think he will be a huge distraction for the locker room because I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is ready to take that main leadership role that Jimmy Butler secured last year. Same with Andrew Wiggins. I just don't think he'll be ready for that kind of
Okay.
big time.
Yeah, so his contract year is this year, or no, next year, right? Yeah, so he's signed for another year, and then he's a free agent. So, I think they'll try to trade him, but I think they're going to ask for too much. But I think eventually he'll be traded. But what they were talking about was if they don't have him, they're not a playoff team.
Absolutely.
Because Karl Anthony Towns is too young to carry a team by himself. Andrew Wiggins, everyone's always so high on him. I think he's overrated. And then the rest of their team isn't too great.
It's basically a ton of C plus, B minus players, which I don't think can really get the job done in that kind of situation.
Exactly. And the thing is for other teams, do you want a guy with only, for sure, whenever you trade him, so say it's right at the deadline, like 1.25 years, maybe if you're going into the playoffs that year, you need one more spot, like maybe the Lakers decide to do it because they think he'll re-sign with LeBron, but I don't know if they will because they could sign people in free agency, and I don't know if they'd want to trade their young pieces.
Such as Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and they didn't pull the trigger on Kawhi, so why would they pull the trigger on a worse player? But you never know.
I mean, not too much.
So they may go to a contending team. Maybe they'll go to like you said, a Miami Heat team. They last year they were doing okay. They didn't make the playoffs, right? Or they made it as an 8. They were close. They were close.
Oh, they did. They played the Sixers in the first.
Oh yeah, so they did make the playoffs as like an 8 seed or something really low. Or no, it was 6 seed.
It was 6, yeah.
Yeah, okay. My bad. But they made it like lower in the East, and the East is obviously not stacked, and their best player just left, the best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
So now they have Hassan Whiteside, who had a bad last year. He started declining. He's 30 now. Maybe they'll trade for a guy like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, and I think that playoff series versus Sixers, I remember him getting very, very few minutes. Like some stupid low, like 15-ish, 10-ish. Which, obviously, if you're a star player, you want to get him a lot more minutes just because, fairly, you want a greater chance to win.
Hmm And they have players on Miami, like Dwayne Wade. It's his last year. He's a veteran in the playoffs.
Yep.
He knows his way around the league. He can still provide for them in the playoffs and still be a decent scorer. He will not start, though, I don't think.
Dragic is good. He was an all-star last year, but personally, I think Ben Simmons should have made it over him, so he's not that kind of guy you can go all the way with.
Yeah.
I mean,
They need another star down there.
Yeah, I mean they got some guys like Bam Adebayo and Josh Richardson and what's the dude's name, Deion Waiters, but
Hmm.
even though he keeps
Yeah, they have a
hurt.
nice bench. They literally just need like one or two more stars. Okay. So we don't think he'll be traded in the next week or days, maybe, but definitely by the trade deadline. But if for some reason he's not traded, will he be a problem in the locker room? You want to start?
I think he'll absolutely be a problem in the locker room because usually to develop like a championship winning culture, you need kind of that strong foundation, and you want your main guy. I mean, exception is to Kawhi, but usually your best player is that most vocal leader, and if you don't have that kind of guy to step up, which Karl Anthony Towns, I don't believe he will, or Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. And Jimmy Butler, everyone's just kind of going to have like this bad effect or bad kind of feel toward him since they know the whole situation going on. And especially him playing with like the third stringers, I think it was, in practice the other day and like beating the starters.
Yeah.
I think that kind of left a sour taste in like the starters' mouths and just never really, and just kind of sparked a bad relationship.
Yeah, and he also said like a few days ago that he doesn't care if the fans boo him. He's still going to play the same way. So
That's just a terrible.
fans are not going to
mindset.
support him at all this year. Apparently he doesn't care about that, but so okay. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think so.
So we are Lakers fans. I'm just going to say this
Yes.
before this, so this
Maybe
could
a
be
little biased, not gonna lie.
but
At times.
our question is and for football, for when we do our NFL, I'm a Packers fan, he's a Niners fan, so.
Yes.
Alright, so are the Lakers a better supporting cast than the Cleveland Cavaliers were to LeBron?
Absolutely. I don't understand when people say they don't think so. I mean, yeah, they had Kevin Love, they had Rodney Hood, they had George Hill, but those guys' numbers decreased tremendously with LeBron there because LeBron realized in the playoffs the only way he's gonna win is if he just becomes that ball centric kind of player.
Exactly.
And the Lakers just kind of have a plethora of options to go to, as in Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo, Rondo, McGee, just you name it, all across the board. Just better sporting cast.
Okay. I also think the Lakers are better. Cavaliers. All the players there were old, washed up, for the most part. Kevin Love was still pretty
Facts.
good. J.R. Smith, obviously not good. Couldn't shoot in the playoffs, and then obviously we know what happened game one of the finals.
We won't talk about that.
And then George Hill, washed up. He's still not a bad point guard, but I'd rather have Lonzo with a brighter future. I'd rather have Brandon Ingram than Kevin Love.
Yes, age.
Way more potential.
and scoring.
But we'll see how Kevin Love does this year, because last time he had his own team, he was really good.
Yeah.
Okay, then Kyle Kuzma, obviously, young star.
Right,
So,
young.
I'm going to break down the Lakers roster. Their starting lineup right now is Rondo, because Lonzo's recovering from injury, so they're not starting him yet. And then it's KCP, LeBron, Kuzma, and McGee. But in a late situation, I've heard they're going to run Lonzo, Hart, Ingram, Kuzma, and LeBron. LeBron's going to play the 5.
Oh yeah.
And then let's just go by this. Right now, their starting lineup I mentioned. Their bench will be Lonzo, Josh Hart as the main sparks for the second unit. And then they're not going to run 3 guards at that time. So Lance Stevenson has the third unit. And he's that kind of spark that you want on your bench unit. And if he's running the third unit, when I went to the Lakers game, the third unit did terrible once he exited the game. But when he was in the game, they were making plays.
Yeah, him and Michael Beasley. I know Michael Beasley might kind of be a flash in the pan kind of player, but he does have
Oh, yeah.
moments
I forgot to mention him, yeah.
where I think think he had like 4 or 5 30-point games with the Knicks.
Yeah, it was 4 last year,
Yeah.
30-point games.
And
He just is also a spark. I just forgot to mention him.
I bet that's kind of hard to believe for like an average NBA fan, but he can provide that spark that they need off the bench. Which, I mean, if we're being real here, how much more did Kevin Love do in the playoffs and all of last season more than what Michael Beasley did? For being 100% honest. But instead, Michael Beasley's got 2 players ahead of him that'll probably play, and Kevin Love is a starter. And I'm not saying Kevin Love's a worse player than Michael Beasley, but at the end of the day, they did kind of put up similar production last year. And yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the next topic. So we're picking 5 sleeper teams and 5 overrated teams, and why.
Yes, sir.
5 sleeper teams. Go.
5 sleeper teams. I was thinking, I know this might be kind of the not very exciting pick, but I think the Chicago Bulls could make it to the playoffs. I'm not saying they could get anywhere near the finals. I don't even think they could win a playoff series, but a lot of people are projecting them to be a bottom 3, bottom 5 seed in the West, or not West, East, my bad. But I think they could actually legit be a 8-7 seed because, they're terrible on defense. They might be one of the worst defensive teams on the league in the league next year, or this season, I should say.
They have Chris Dunn and the guy they drafted, Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah,
Those are their
only defenders.
Only defenders on the team.
Only defenders.
And they're great defenders, but
Yeah.
if you have 2 defenders on your team, that's not going to do well,
Yeah,
especially in playoffs if they make it.
And, I'm kind of a believer in Zach LaVine, not going to lie, because
Yeah, he's going to put up 20 a game this
he's
year.
that slasher kind of player, and he can also shoot the 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of vital. And
Yep.
nice. I didn't really think about this. I think also the Jazz. I think because
Yeah.
they kind of drafted that little hothead in Grayson Allen this year, which he looked good in the preseason, so he might be able to do something during the regular season. Plus, they will have, I think, the best defense in the league next year, led by Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year, and kind of being the anchor in their team. Donovan Mitchell's not bad either. Well, at defender-wise, obviously he's really good. And Ricky Rubio will be that nice defensive plug.
Yeah. Okay. You know, why don't we pick 5 together since we didn't really prepare for this? So I agree with those 2. One thing about the Jazz, though, people are predicting them to get the 3 seed after they saw last year, so I don't know if they'd be considered a sleeper, but we'll keep it for now.
That's true, huh?
But that's okay. Okay, so, obviously I agree with the Chicago one. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they could very well. Depends how their young core lasts for 82 games.
Absolutely.
So, people say the Nuggets are a
Nuggets.
sleeper team.
I was gonna say, I know.
I don't like the Nuggets,
Yeah,
but
we
I'm
don't.
gonna just say I'll go with them.
We really don't.
Obviously, we had some fights with them last year. Well, the Lakers did, not us, but
Yeah, we personally had fights with the Nuggets last.
yeah. Okay, so Nikola Jokic is a really good center.
Top 5
He-
center in my opinion.
He can pass, he can rebound, he can shoot, he can attack. Not the strongest player though.
Little kind of got bullied by Julius Randle last year, but
Yeah.
besides the point.
Then they brought in IT, who could be a very good spark off the bench because I assume they'd start Jamal Murray. Unless IT does something crazy off the bench.
Jamal Murray, yeah, he might not be my favorite player, but he does provide that solid point guard presence.
Yeah.
He's a good scorer.
True point guard.
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't really say he's amazing at anything, but he's just solid all
At
around.
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And then Will Barton,
Yeah.
he's still there, right? Yeah.
And Gary Harris.
They're really good shooters. Every team needs shooters.
I think if Paul Millsap, I know last year he didn't play when he started with the Nuggets. I think he played half the games or something like that. And when he did play, he was a solid 4 for them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 3 sleeper teams. So let's see. Want to do 3 overrated and then
Yeah, and then we'll come back to it if we think.
Okay.
of any. 3 overrated. First off, I will go with the Houston Rockets. I think the loss of Trevor Ariza is gonna impact them a lot, just because the only way they actually contained Kevin Durant last year, bless you,
Okay.
in the Western Conference Finals is because of Trevor Ariza. And yeah, he may not be the fastest, quickest guy out there, but he was that defender that they do need. And now who they got left, like, is Ryan Anderson still on that team?
Yes. No.
I feel like he left. I don't know. But yeah, exactly. Like, who's even there to guard someone like Kevin Durant?
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. And I'm just checking. He plays for the Suns. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he got brought over with that trade they just did.
Okay.
And then besides Chris Paul, who's a phenomenal center, or not center. I was thinking of Clint Capella, but I mixed my sentences there. Chris Paul as a great point guard and defender.
Great
I meant to
defender.
say great defender. And
He.
go for it.
Oh, I think he'll average 15 points, which is way lower than he usually does.
Yeah.
I think he'll still get the assist because he's a playmaker. Come playoff time, he'll be very clutch. So.
Yeah, and the center, Clint Capella, he's just that all-around beast that they need. 5 position, can rebound, can alley-oop, great finisher, and a great defender.
All right. Let's move on to the next team. I'm gonna go with the Knicks here. That's underrated.
Underrated. So we go back to it's a sleeper.
Yeah. I'm just switching because, yeah. So the Knicks. They drafted Kevin Knox. I think he's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Sleeper for Rookie of the Year.
Great
We'll talk
summer
about that next for NBA awards. Kristaps might sit out the whole year.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I personally, a lot of people think they should just take this whole year and just call it a season already. But
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. NBA teams won't tank.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
try their best every year.
See, the whole NBA is just about money. There's no way that the Knicks would just tank, because there's no way they get any fans for games, and at the end of the day, the NBA is all about money. So
They have the biggest or second biggest city in the NBA between LA for basketball, because they both also have football, so you debate that, but
yeah,
they're not gonna tank. They have a young small forward who looked very good in summer league and preseason. I think he played preseason.
I think so.
Yeah, I think I saw a few highlights of him. And when they had Kristaps, they were in contention. Now they got another young piece. They got a young point guard who could turn into a star. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, like Frank
It's
Ntilikina.
like Ntilikina.
Yeah, whatever it is. So they could possibly sneak in an 8 seed in the East because,
East is weak.
yeah, West
Very
is way too stacked. So I think they could be a sleeper. So yeah, all right.
Overrated. Yeah, overrated.
If you want to do one, like we have one more sleeper and 4 more overrated.
If we can't really think of much, then we can just move on.
Okay, well I have one more.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it.
Just get a little inspiration here. Oh, underrated. I know I don't mean to use our last underrated spot here.
Go
The
ahead.
Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not sure how anyone on earth can stop Giannis with a jump shot, which he looked like he's developed over the offseason. And with the addition of Brook Lopez isn't a stud. I know
He's a shooter. Like, okay, I compare Giannis to LeBron in his early, like maybe even his prime,
Yeah.
when he was super athletic, and now he's developed a jump shot. LeBron never completely got a jump shot. I mean, he could still shoot well now, and he could at times in some seasons. But Giannis looks like he's got like a legitimate good jump shot. And last year it was hard to stop him. He was like top 5 MVP, and he could only attack. And now that he could shoot, they got problems to stop him.
Yeah.
Brooke Lopez, LeBron always needs shooters around him because he can make those plays to where someone will be wide open in the corner. Last year in the playoffs, that's why they lost some games in the playoffs, and that's why a lot of the series were closer, like against Boston. His team wasn't hitting those threes in the corner. Brooke Lopez can hit threes. He's one of those centers that could just shoot the ball.
I mean, he's not gonna pull up over.
Well, no, I'm saying like
if he's wide open.
wide open in the corner,
Yeah.
he's gonna hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm Brogdon, he could shoot pretty decently.
Bledsoe's a good defender.
Bledsoe's a good defender, yeah. They got an underrated defense too. Giannis can play really good defense. Compare him to Anthony Davis a lot. So.
Oh, Chris Middleton too. I think.
He is so underrated.
20 something.
He gets like 20 a year, and no one ever talks about him.
He's extremely underrated, in my opinion.
Okay, so that's our last sleeper team. We're gonna do like one or two more
I
overrated.
got a couple overrated.
Okay.
We already kind of touched on this earlier, but the Timberwolves, the whole Jimmy Butler situation, yeah, we already talked about it. Overrated. Yeah. The Trailblazers, I was gonna say next, because they're all their firepower is coming from the 1 and 2, and they got two extremely similar players in CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. And I don't really understand at this point why they haven't traded one of those guys. In my opinion, it should be CJ McCollum for like a 3 small forward, or even power forward center. It doesn't really matter. But I mean, Nurkic is good, but their forwards like Alfred Aminu, Allen Crabbe, they just don't really have that kind of emphasis that they want at those positions.
Okay. So, I'm gonna do one more underrated, and then I'll do an overrated. Then we could go to what's next. We don't want to spend too long on this. Underrated, the Pelicans.
I was looking at them. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you in-game stats from where we are right now. It's halftime. You know how we were talking about how the Rockets are overrated?
Yes.
We're losing 71-54 to Anthony Davis with 18, 8, and 6. Then Julius Randle already providing for the Pelicans with 17. And Nikola Mirotic, who's going to have a bigger role now that Boogie's gone, 15 points, 6 rebounds. Julius Randle is going to play power forward. Mirotic is going to play small forward. Mirotic could shoot, Randle could kind of shoot, and AD is obviously an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
AD is one of the best defenders in the league. He was second in Defensive Player of the Year last year. He could play center very easily. I saw him get 2 blocks on Capella before we started doing this. And that was within the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah. And I just kind of throw this out there. I really like each one more just as a shooter.
Yeah. They have shooters there. They have a great defender in Drew Holiday. Anthony Davis can defend. Randall could defend. They got a really good defense in their offense. If you get Randall, AD, and Mirotic going, you got a shooter and 2 attackers. And then each one more, Drew Holiday could both shoot and play defense. They're very underrated. They could be top 3 in the West.
Top 3 potentially. But I think they definitely make the playoffs.
Oh, they're making the playoffs.
But
Yeah.
I'd say at least 6 seed.
Yeah.
Very minimum, maybe 7.
And then I had one overrated over here. Oh, 76ers. They're a very good team. They're still going to be top 3 in the East. But I think they're overrated. Last night doesn't mean too much.
Yes.
But they were playing the best team in the East. Joel Embiid didn't do as much as we saw him do last year.
He got dunked on a couple times.
Yeah. Simmons. I saw him try a few jump shots. So maybe he worked on that. I hadn't heard anything, but he missed them.
Yeah.
The ones I saw him take, he could have made one when I wasn't watching.
And also, Roadkill, Robert Covington, he just got exposed last night. I think it was Tatum, kind of got him a little
Yeah.
shake and bake.
At the end of the half and then made a J, yeah. And then, also, they lost their veteran guys last year who helped them in the playoffs. Marco Bellinelli's gone. Ursan Silva's gone.
And I don't really like the move to put Markelle Fultz in the starting lineup.
After, not playing last year.
Yeah, because first of all, you bench J.J. Riddick, who's that knockdown shooter they need, because who's going to shoot on their team? Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is not going to shoot. And Joel Embiid's probably actually
He can shoot,
can't
but
shoot.
he plays at the block,
Yeah.
and then occasionally if he takes the ball up the court and then goes on a screen, and then instead of rolling they go back, maybe he'll hit one, or like he's wide open, like the power forwards in the block. But they might not even be top 3 this year. I could see him getting bumped out. Celtics are a lock for me.
Celtics,
Raptors are in contention.
and Bucks.
Bucks are in contention. The top 4 are gonna be those teams. I don't know what order,
Any order.
except for Celtics are 1.
Also, a couple more overrated teams. I'm not going to touch on them too much, but the Spurs and what was the other one? The Wizards. Spurs, they kind of. I was kind of looking forward to DeJounte Murray this year, and then that's kind of really sad how he tore his ACL. So I was thinking he was going to have a big year.
Yeah, and they lost Tony Parker,
Lost Tony Parker.
and that was their best point guard besides Murray.
Paul Gasol's probably not going to do much this year.
hmm
And who they got? DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. Those are 2 solid guys.
You need a supporting cast.
He's
They
one of
can't.
those.
There's a few guys in this league that could carry if they just have 2 good players. Last year, LeBron and Kevin Love kind of did that
Yeah.
because it's LeBron,
Yeah.
and Kevin Love's a good enough player to support him. I think that could be the same case for a guy like Steph. Maybe KD.
KD, yeah.
There's only a few guys that could do that, and I don't think DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge can do that.
No,
So,
definitely not. And then,
or DeMarcus as King of the Fourth Quarter. So.
and with the Wizards, yeah, they got Dwight Howard now, but I just same thing kind of with the Blazers. They got 2 players in Bradley Beal and John Wall, who just they got a great backcourt, but what
hmm
and because what they're trying to do is obviously get deep in the playoffs, and who's gonna be guarding Giannis and who else? Tatum, Gordon Hayward.
Yeah. Okay. Also, they're obviously very, very good backcourt.
Yes.
Bradley Beal's not the best defender.
No.
He can shoot. John Wall's a really good defender.
Yes.
Not as great as a shooter, more of an attacker, but let's say maybe somehow they make it to the finals.
Yeah.
And that would obviously be a very successful year for them. But say they do that 3 years in a row. Let's just say somehow it's the same supporting cast for the Warriors. Let's just,
Yeah.
for inference. John Wall can guard Steph. Beal can't guard Clay. Otto Porter can't guard KD.
Slash Oubre. Oubre probably won't do anything either.
Maybe Draymond does a lot of stuff that's not really,
And it doesn't include scoring.
yeah. Not in the box score kind of stuff. DeMarcus Cousins. Dwight Howard can maybe contain him a little bit, but when you have to try and protect the paint with KD coming in, plus you're not going to be able to do it. And they also have Nurkic, but they're both not going to be able to do it. So I don't think they're going to be able to go far in the playoffs. So they're an overrated team too. Okay, let's move on because that took a long time.
Yeah.
We're going to predict the NBA awards.
Yeah, awards. All right. But should we start? Should we kind of like work our way up?
Yeah, so like six man in the, or coach of the year, six man in the year.
Rookie of the year, that kind of stuff.
Just
The awards, yeah.
I'm just gonna click this and like so we could see all the awards. Or it's putting it up. These are like, yeah.
All
Okay, so we got. Oh, we don't want that. MVP.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I don't
they'll
like this website, but rookie of the year, coach of the year, defense player of the year, six man, most improved. Let's start with most improved.
Most improved, yeah. Most improved. I think both Brandon Ingram and Lonzo have a great chance of winning this.
It's a little biased because we're Lakers fans,
yeah,
but
I've been seeing them in like some other experts like most improved kind of category,
mhm.
and I feel like this year we might have another kind of Victor Oladipo situation where someone who turns from an average star or not average, yeah, how do you call it?
Average.
Average player.
Yeah.
And into like this stud in what Victor Oladipo became today, literally, or the season I should say, and single-handedly with the help of, I mean,
Miles Turner.
what's the dude's name? Bogdanovich and
Mhm.
Miles Turner.
Sabonis.
Sabonis, yeah, and took LeBron and the Cavs to 7 games.
He almost beat LeBron by himself. That's a LeBron-esque thing against him.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have an exact pick. Here, you say your stuff.
Okay. Obviously, Miles Turner is up for it
Agreed.
because he got like super buff over the summer. I don't think they would put him in this category, but it's possible. Giannis. I think now that he has a 3, he could be put in that category, but I think he's going to be more in the MVP because he's too good of a player to be most improved. Carl Anthony Towns. If they trade Butler,
It's all dependent on that. If
Yeah.
they don't trade Butler, I don't think he wins.
if they trade Butler, I think he has a really good shot at it because he's a great player and he'd be getting more touches, etc.
Yeah, and also a guy I was thinking about, but I mentioned him earlier, DeJounte Murray. I think he could have had a good chance because DeRozan, I know DeRozan likes to handle the ball a lot, but DeJounte Murray could kind of be that, just give him the outlet pass when he needs it and get great numbers. And I mean, he wouldn't necessarily be the primary ball or the scorer.
Yeah, that's DeRozan and Aldridge.
But he can be a solid defensive player, or basically do everything besides scoring, like playmaking, defense, rebounding.
And he'll get his buckets when he needs to. Okay.
So who's your pick?
Okay, well, I agree with you, but Ingram and Lonzo. Who's your pick?
All right. You can call me a little biased on this one, but I think it'll be Brandon Ingram. I think he could put up close to 22, 23 this year, and for the past couple of years, as far as I know,
I'll look it up.
the most improved player has averaged kind of like low 20s, mid 20s, such as Giannis. I'm not exactly sure what Victor Oladipo averaged last year, but I'm sure it's close to that. So yeah,
Last year he averaged 17.4. The year before 16.1.
16.1. Yeah.
He's gonna get more assists this year. Maybe rebounds. Oh.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I think they have that mixed up because 5 games. I think this is like preseason right here.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So 16.1.
And his rookie year, he only averaged like 8 or 7 or something.
Yeah. He could have won it last year.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get even better this year. Another person that we're gonna throw in the
Brown,
comments.
I forgot about him. He crossed the line.
Yeah. Okay. My lock is also Brandon Ingram. I know, still biased, but I agree with your points. So you can call it bias. But say it's not him. If I were to go with anyone else, it would be Carl Anthony Towns, depending on Jimmy being traded. So if he's not traded, and Ingram, if you're not counting that bias, I'd go Miles Turner.
And
So.
Ingram's in such a good situation because he's got LeBron, one of the best ball handlers in the league, Lonzo, one of the best ball handlers in the league, in my opinion, and
Rondo.
one
One of the
of
best.
the best ball handlers in the league.
Exactly.
So he's just in the perfect situation. Also, a couple names I just want to throw out is D'Angelo Russell, and yeah, Jaylen Brown. He's just
Okay. 6th man of the year. Last year it was JJ Redick. Or no, it wasn't.
No, it was.
It was.
Oh shoot, we don't know our stuff, do we?
I know it. Oh.
Lou
Lou
Williams.
Williams, Lou Williams.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Just some Lakers, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. So 6th man of the year. JJ Redick's not gonna be in that conversation. I don't think.
Will not, because
They're not gonna give him enough time.
Sixers coaching staff is not making a good decision with the whole shooting guard starting or not.
Okay.
But I could see if Lou Williams coming off the bench again this year.
I think so.
I think yeah, if he is, I think he has a great shot of winning again. And same with Eric Gordon, who won a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah, he's playing backup tonight too.
Yeah, because
They thought about starting him at small forward, same with Melo, but they started PJ Tucker.
Yeah. Since like I said earlier, like how.
Oh, depending on how Carmelo plays,
Yeah,
he could be a sleeper pick for that.
definitely, definitely.
Okay. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one, because we've done this for a while, obviously.
Yes.
So, we're just gonna go, who's your lock?
A lock. Ooh.
Or your number one? You could do top three if you want.
Top three, I'll say JJ Redick if he starts is in the top three. Other two guys, Eric Gordon, Lou Williams, but I gotta say I just can't see Lou Williams not winning again this year if he has the same opportunities like he did last year.
Okay. I have a few more picks out there. So I'm gonna make a top 5 list.
Ooh.
So my people in it are, I don't know who's starting in Milwaukee, Bledsoe or Brogdon. Whoever's not.
I think Brogdon's more of a shooting guard now.
No, okay. I could still see him getting it. He won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna get more minutes this year as more like a 6-man. So, I could see, depending on who they start again, Rondo or Lonzo.
If Rondo averages like 13 assists this year, then yeah, probably a good shot.
And then we got, obviously, the big three: Lou Williams, JJ Redick, and Eric Gordon. So I don't know who to pick, but those are between my top 5. So
Yeah, and if this was a couple years ago, I'd say Andre Iguodala would have a good chance, but there's just no way he'll get the
no, he's washed up now. He's still good in the playoffs, and he could get a few good games, but no,
Yeah, like there's
not as a star.
no way he'll get opportunities over Boogie, who's a big scorer, Kevin Durant, big scorer.
Yeah, they have an all-star starting lineup now, so he's not gonna get as many minutes. So, okay, next we're gonna go with Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna just keep this simple. Rudy Gobert. I don't see anyone else winning. I mean, possibly Anthony Davis and Giannis will be in the running, but I don't see anyone else besides Rudy Gobert winning.
Yep, same thing. Rudy Gobert, Giannis, or AD. In front, Gobert. Coach of the Year.
I gotta say Brad Stevens. I think it's really ridiculous how he didn't win last year. How he took a team without Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving to a 7-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, Brad Stevens. If it's not him, I could see it being Luke Walton if they get like a really, really good record. But LeBron's obviously a huge help to that, and I don't know if they'd give him that. And Steve Kerr, they probably won't give it to him just because he has an all-star lineup. So Brad Stevens is a front runner. Maybe Pop if they
also maybe
a good record.
Quinn Snyder. Jazz. They'll probably be a top 3, 4 seed in the
True.
West.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
I got 3 people.
You
go first.
I probably got 3 people too. First, I'm gonna start off by saying Luka Doncic. No, I'm still kind of confused on how the Mavericks are gonna use him and Dennis Smith Jr. Is Doncic gonna start at the 2, at the 1? Do you know?
2.
2. Yeah,
He'll be ball handler though.
He'll be ball handler because Dennis Smith Jr. Yeah, he's a good. He can do good ball handling, but he's just more of like a go to the rim or stay out 3-pointer perimeter.
The reason for them starting Luka at shooting guard, better defender. Well, not better necessarily better defender, more height. Okay, Rookie of the Year, I got 3. Ayton, Doncic, and Kevin Knox as my sleeper.
Kevin Knox, yeah.
Kevin Knox, obviously, if Kristaps doesn't play, they need someone to be that leader. He looked very good in Summer League and preseason. DeAndre Ayton, he's number 1 pick. He's in Phoenix. They need a big man.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker as, yeah, good situation there. So, those are our top 3, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I think Doncic will win. That's my prediction because he played in technically professional league, which is tougher than college.
Yeah.
So I feel like he'll already be adjusted to like the speed of the NBA.
Yeah, and they're not going to be the greatest team either.
Yeah,
So,
still get his chances.
and he's got Jordan to pass to now.
All right, MVP.
I got 3. I got 3.
I got 3. They might actually they probably will be the same as yours.
Anthony Davis,
Anthony Davis,
Giannis,
and
LeBron. All right.
Yeah, we talked to each other about that.
So, Anthony Davis. He could have won it last year. He also could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. That says a lot in itself. I don't need to explain any more about him. He
Yep.
could score. He could defend. LeBron, greatest player, maybe of all time. Nothing more to be said. Giannis, he's got a shot now.
Jump
That's
shot.
all you need to say.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next. Predicting NBA playoff seeds. This is a fun one. I gotta get all the teams up again. Let's just go at standings.
Oh, cool. Make teams up.
We'll do East and then West.
Alright.
East. You want me to go first?
Dude, do you want like each one of us to do like or do like when you do East, I do West, I do East, you do West, or something like that?
Sure.
Or should we just
Let's just do East, East, West, West. Celtics 1.
I think the Raptors can get up there?
Raptors 2. Bucks 3. Sixers 4. Pacers 5.
3 so far.
Wizards 6.
6. Ooh. Oh wow, this is really.
Oh,
easy.
bro.
I think the Heat, and like I said a lot earlier, the Bulls.
Heat 7. Bulls 8. Or no, Pistons 8.
Pistons, yeah.
Because
like
they have more veterans.
Yeah, a lot of.
That rookie team might not make playoffs. Okay. You do your East.
Alright. Mine is the exact same, except for the last 2. I don't think the Heat, if they don't acquire a guy like Jimmy Butler, will.
I'm depending on that.
The player, yeah. Okay. So, what that was your 7th seed, right? The Heat.
Yeah.
All right. So 7th seed, I'm gonna say the Pistons, and 8th seed, I'm gonna go with the Bulls.
Okay. Yeah, I could see the Pistons, but the Heat too for mine. Okay, I'll go first for this one too. Warriors lock at number 1.
Yeah, that's kind of obvious. 81 and 1,
Ooh.
or 78 and 4 for losses being to the Lakers.
Alright. Do I really think they could jump?
You think the Lakers could get number 2?
Jazz 2.
Jazz 2. Okay, I'm good with that.
Lakers 3. Rockets 4. Pelicans 5.
Nuggets.
Yeah, Nuggets 6.
Thunder.
Yeah, I guess. Thunder 7.
Then you got the Blazers.
Ooh, Blazers, Spurs,
And that's about
Timberwolves.
it. The Timberwolves.
It depends on Jimmy, so I'm not gonna go with them. Spurs.
Or Blazers. I know what I'd do right here.
I'm going Blazers
That's right.
because Spurs don't have enough. I think Damian and McCollum have a better shot at it. Now, I think they'd get destroyed by the Warriors in the first round, but
No, wait, who'd you have as your 7th and 8th seed?
7, I put Thunder.
Thunder. Okay, and then
8 was obviously, yeah.
alright, and then mine is kind of starts out similar. Warriors 1, Jazz 2, Lakers 3. At number 4, I'm gonna say the Nuggets. I think like
I
you
could see
said
them up
earlier,
there, yeah.
All those guys that they got, they could probably lead to number 4 seed. Number 5, I'll say the Rockets. I think you got them.
Rockets.
Too.
hmm
And 6, Pelicans. 7, Thunder, and 8, Blazers. So kind of the same as
Similar, just one flip.
Yeah, 1 or 2 flips, something like
Okay, so now we're doing a playoff picture,
that.
so,
Pictures, okay.
okay. So, Celtics for me would be, oh, I probably should have wrote this down. Oh, Heat? Did I put 8?
You
Yeah.
put Pistons.
I put Pistons 8, okay. Celtics win, move on. Pacers would be playing the Heat. Pacers win, they move on. Bucks were at 3,
Yeah.
or were it Raptors?
Or no.
Oh no, Pacers weren't 2. It was Raptors 2.
Raptors.
Raptors, same result would happen. Bucks were 3, and they were playing. See, we should like.
6. You put at 6.
Yeah, we're writing this
No.
down next time. Did I put Wizards at 6?
You put.
Okay, let me do my list again.
Yeah,
Celtics,
we'll-
Raptors, Bucks, Sixers,
Pacers.
Pacers,
Was it 6?
Wizards were 6. Okay, so Wizards would be playing 3. So 3 was Bucks.
Bucks. Wait,
Bucks.
Yeah.
Move on.
No, wait. Who would you say for Raptors and? Say
Raptors.
that one? Yeah, Raptors.
4. Oh, this is actually good. Sixers versus Pacers.
Okay.
You wanna help me with this, even though it's not yours?
Yeah, here, I agree with everything, so I'll just kind of go with yours. We'll just combine them.
Okay.
So what do you have? You have
4 or 5 right now is Sixers, Pacers.
Sixers, I think. I think they're just more well-rounded.
More depth.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it would be. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So it's just our 1 through 4 teams moving on.
And then next it would be Celtics,
Or Sixers.
Sixers, and Raptors and Bucks. Oh, these are good. Celtics beat Sixers.
Celtics beat Sixers. 3.
7-game series between Raptors and Bucks.
Ooh. I think. Oh my gosh, this is tough.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go first if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I love Giannis. I love the
Me too,
Bucks.
I do too.
I gotta go Raptors because Kawhi can limit Giannis. And then Giannis is a great defender. Kawhi isn't the greatest scorer. So I think it's still gonna go 7 games, but Kyle Lowry, he hasn't been statistically good in the playoffs, but he's gonna have to step up this year. If he steps up, they win it because he's a kind of a star compared to the Bucks. They just have well-rounded. They don't have another star. So
Plus, the Raptors have Danny Green, Fred Van Vliet.
yeah,
and
they just have
Jonas
good depth too. Plus Kyle Lowry as their second star.
Yeah.
Okay, so Raptors and Celtics.
Celtics. I think
Celtics,
Yeah.
just more depth, more better lineup. And they both have good bench depth, but
Mhm.
gotta go Celtics.
The West.
West. So Celtics are in finals,
Mhm.
to clarify.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Warriors would be playing our 8 seed. Our 8
It
seed
was the Blazers.
Blazers. Warriors smack them.
Yeah.
2
That's why I
seed
thought it
was
a
the
good game.
Jazz. Jazz were playing Thunder. Jazz did that
Jazz,
last
yeah.
year, and Jazz are winning again.
Yep.
3 were the Lakers. The Lakers would be playing the
Oh. Pelicans.
Pelican.
Wait.
No, Pelicans were 5 for me.
Oh yeah.
Um, Nuggets. Pelicans would be playing the Nuggets.
Wait, no, Lakers. Played
Lakers people playing the Nuggets. Sorry. Lakers would beat the Nuggets.
Yes. And
4.
then Pelicans and Rockets.
Ooh. Okay, let's think about this. Drew Holiday could lock Chris Paul. Or Harden.
Okay.
Whoever he guards.
Last year, what happened in what was it, first round? The Pelicans basically shut down a 1 and 2, and C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard last year. I think they'll do something very, very similar with James Harden and Chris Paul. But it's
Plus,
gonna be
Anthony
difficult.
Davis can guard Clint Capella. That's kind of their third option.
Mhm.
I think it will happen. I think the Pelicans will win that series. That's very controversial for a
Yeah.
lot of people, though.
Like last year was a sweep between the Blazers and the Pelicans. It won't be a sweep this year. I'd say like Pelicans out 6.
6 or 7. So that is the first round, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Second round, we got Warriors and Pelicans. Warriors. And we got Jazz and
Lakers.
Lakers. Ooh, this is biased, but
But
I got Lakers.
I got Lakers too.
I don't think the Jazz have a legitimate star
Yeah.
to stop them.
With Ricky Rubio, they find a way to stop Donovan Mitchell, and I mean,
Ingram, you got him.
yeah, if Grayson Allen becomes a thing, he won't. They could shut him down too. And
Okay. Yeah.
Lakers
So
win.
that's pretty much it.
The Warriors versus Lakers. We're not gonna be too biased here.
Okay.
We'll
Warriors.
say Warriors. Say about 6.
Yeah, I think LeBron will put up a fight, but
Yeah.
they are not good enough to take down that team. Maybe if Clay goes to Lakers next year and Boogie leaves somewhere else, then it would actually be like
Yes.
really, really good
Yes,
series,
yes.
very close. But that doesn't happen. So Warriors Celtics. This is the predicted finals by
Alright.
every NBA expert, and we agree with it.
Mhm.
Who do you got?
Warriors.
I got Warriors too. If everyone stays healthy, that's an all-star lineup.
I'd say
Kyrie and Steph will go at it.
yes.
Clay is better than Jalen Brown.
Right now. Oh, well, if he wins most improved player, he'll probably be maybe even better. But
Okay,
For now.
for now. KD's obviously better than Tatum or Hayward, depending on who you put at the 3 and 4, because they've switched it a lot. I saw in their defensive slides yesterday. So
And then Draymond Green versus whoever plays the 4 for.
Draymond Green is just way too physical for both of those guys, and Boogie is definitely gonna hand an L to Al Horford because he could literally just back down
yeah.
in the post.
Horford's known for his mainly defending, but
He's not gonna stop
He's not
a
gonna
super
stop
strong guy.
Boogie.
And then even if he does manage Boogie a little bit, he's also got KD coming in the paint, and he's got to go up for that, and then he's not going to be able to defend all that. So Warriors, maybe a 6-game series. So, okay.
Okay, I think actually I'm gonna say 7 games.
7.
I think every team wins their home games, and then comes on game 7. Warriors at home. They win.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in to our first podcast.
Okay.
So,
Also, wait, can I say something?
yeah, you do the outro.
Before we do an outro, I just want to say we're not NBA experts, sports experts. We're just a couple of dudes who just
Love
made
sports.
a channel named Savage Sports and just love talking about sports. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and we might want to do this as a future career. Maybe not as a podcast, but maybe announcers for the Lakers or
Facts.
49ers, Packers, anything really. So, or be an analyst or
Thank
yeah.
you
So,
guys for tuning in.
and hope you enjoyed. We will be doing an NFL one. I don't know when it will be uploaded, but we will be recording it tomorrow. I don't know when this will be uploaded either. Most likely this weekend. You'll probably see this on Friday, and then the NFL one on Saturday. That's what we'll aim for.
Yes.
So, thank you guys for watching our first podcast.
Peace.
We're out.